Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Tuesday, December 20th, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Also, check out our perks and join the High Stakes membership. Joining the High Stakes membership is easy, is cheap, but it will help a lot in the growth process of this channel. Plus, if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. Make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. Golden State Warriors vs New York Knicks. The Warriors faced the Raptors and went home with a win by a final score of 126-110 in their last game. Golden State walked away from the contest with a 53.1% field goal percentage, 43 out of 81, and made 18 of their 39 three-point attempts. From the charity stripe, the Warriors made 22 of 26 shots for a percentage of 84.6%. With respect to grabbing rebounds, they compiled a total of 41, with 12 of them being of the offensive sort. They also recorded 31 dimes in this game, as well as forcing the other team into 12 turnovers and having 6 steals. When discussing defense, Golden State allowed 42.1% from the floor on 40 out of 95 shooting. Toronto recorded 21 dimes and had 6 steals for the contest. Moreover, Toronto had 43 rebounds, 18 offensive, 25 defensive, and got 2 blocked shots. Toronto walked away from this one shooting 77.3% at the charity stripe by making 17 of their 22 attempts. They also made 13 of their 33 shots from three-point land. In reference to personal fouls, the Warriors walked away with 21 and the Raptors accounted for 22 personal fouls. Golden State won their first game without Stephen Curry as they played a strong game overall in Toronto, a 126-110 win. Jordan Poole scored a career-high 43 points and Klay Thompson had 17. They have been awful on the road this year, so this was a step in the right direction. Draymond Green returned after sitting out Friday's loss at Philadelphia because of a sore right quadriceps and finished with 17 points and 9 rebounds in 37 minutes as Golden State snapped a 3-game losing streak and improved to 3-14 on the road. New York is playing their best basketball of the season, entering this showdown with the Curry-less Golden State Warriors. The superstar is expected to be out for at least the next few weeks and will miss this game against New York at Madison Square Garden. Golden State won their first game without Stephen Curry as they played a strong game overall in Toronto, a 126-110 win. Jordan Poole scored a career-high 43 points and Klay Thompson had 17. Poole will have to shoulder a lot of the offensive load and the Knicks present a tough challenge. They are 4 games above the .500 mark and have turned their season around. They will win their 8th straight game with another dominant performance. Our first pick is to take New York for the win. Golden State leads the NBA in pace heading into this interconference battle with the Knicks. Of course, that metric has a lot to do with Stephen Curry and his wild style, but he will miss at least the next few weeks. New York has been dynamite on the defensive end during their winning streak. Since December 4, the Knicks lead the league in fewest points allowed at 97 per game. They are 16th in pace and will dictate the terms in this matchup without Stephen Curry available. The total number has gone under in 8 of New York's last 9 games overall. Our second pick is to take the under here with confidence. Chicago Bulls vs Miami Heat. The Bulls stepped onto the hardwood against the Timberwolves and took a loss by a score of 150-126 in their last game. Chicago wrapped up the contest with a 52.3% FG percentage, 46 out of 88, and made 16 out of their 38 shots from three-point land. From the charity stripe, the Bulls knocked down 18 of 24 tries for a rate of 75.0%. In relation to rebounding, they earned 30 with 6 of them being offensive. They also recorded 31 assists for this contest, while forcing the opposition into 12 turnovers and getting 6 steals. Concerning the defense, Chicago allowed the other team to go 65.5% from the floor on 57 of 87 shooting. Minnesota earned 38 dimes and had 5 steals for this game. In addition, Minnesota snagged 39 rebounds, 4 offensive, 35 defensive, and added 1 block. Minnesota ended up going 81.3% at the charity stripe by burying 13 of their 16 attempts. They also converted 23 of 43 attempts from beyond the perimeter. When it comes to personal fouls, the Bulls left the arena with 16, while the Timberwolves totaled 21 personal fouls. Chicago dropped 126 points against Minnesota and still lost as they struggled defensively as they gave up 150 points. In the game, the Bulls trailed 71-65 at the half, but the third quarter is where things changed as they allowed 42 points and then gave up 37 in the fourth, which was the difference. In the game, they were led by Demer DeRozan, who had 29 points, while Nikola Vucevic had 23, Zach Lavin had 23, Patrick Williams dropped 13, and off the bench Derrick Jones Jr. and Kobe White had 13 and 10 points, respectively. Miami has won 4 straight games and are 6-4 in their last 10 to put their record at 16-15, which is good for 7th place in the East. At home this season they are 9-6 while they are averaging 108.1 ppg, which ranks 29th, but they have been led by its defense as they are allowing just 109 ppg, which ranks 5th. This season, they have been led by Jimmy Butler, who's averaging 21.9 ppg, while Tyler Herro is averaging 21.2, Bam Adebayo is chipping in with 20.2 ppg, and Kyle Lowry is averaging 14. This is a game between two teams going in opposite directions as Miami is starting to find its groove, while Chicago looks lost and has been terrible on the road and just in general, as of late. The Heat's defense is also a hard one to play against, and Chicago already doesn't have the best defense, so I don't expect them to be able to outscore Miami. Along with that, the Bulls are 6-8-1 in covering the spread on the road, and although the Heat hasn't been the best ATS, this is a good spot for them. I expect Miami's offense to be too much for Chicago, while the Heat should slow down DeRozan and Lavin and force someone else to beat them, which the Bulls don't have good secondary scorers. Our 2ST pick is to take the Heat to win and cover. When they last stepped on the court, the Heat went home victorious with a score of 111-101 against the Spurs. The Heat were able to snag 32 defensive rebounds and 8 offensive rebounds for a total of 40 in this matchup. They also gave up possession of the ball 12 times, while earning 14 steals in the matchup. The Spurs committed 19 fouls for the contest, which took the Heat to the charity stripe for a total of 23 shots. They were able to make 16 of the free throws for a rate of 69.6%. When discussing shots from three-point land, Miami buried 11 of 30 attempts, 36.7%. Overall, the Heat finished shooting 42 for 82 from the floor, which gave them a rate of 51.2%. The Heat allowed the Spurs to convert 33 out of 77 attempts from the floor, which left them shooting 42.9% for this contest. They shot 37.0% from three-point range by shooting 10 of 27 and walked away from this one, shooting 25 of 33 at the free throw line, 75.8%. Regarding rebounding, Miami allowed San Antonio to collect 38 in total, 7 on the offensive glass. The total is a tough one to predict as the Bulls are capable of allowing 150 points as they did in the last game, but can also score not a ton and defend half decent. I do like the under in this matchup as this season, Miami is 15-16 in hitting the under, while the Bulls are 16-13. Along with that, the Heat are currently playing at a pace of 99.7, which ranks 21st, while their offensive and defensive efficiency rank 25th and 7th, respectively. Chicago, meanwhile, play at a pace of 100.9, which ranks 14th, but they rank 17th in offensive efficiency and 10th in defensive efficiency. I expect a slower-paced game here and a defensive battle, as both these teams are solid defensively and struggle at times offensively. Our second pick is to take the under. Washington Wizards vs Phoenix Suns. Washington is currently in the midst of a 10-game losing streak and is now 11-20 on the season and in 12th place in the East. They are also just 3-13 on the road this season, as during this losing skid, 7 games have been on the road. After the game against Phoenix, they still have 2 more games on the West Coast road trip. They are currently averaging 110.6 ppg and allowing 113.7 ppg, while being led by Bradley Beal, who's averaging 23.2, Kristaps Porzingis, who's averaging 22.4, and Kyle Kuzma, who's chipping in with 21.3 ppg. The Wizards stepped onto the hardwood against the Lakers and walked away from this one with a loss by a score of 119-117 in their last game. In the matter of fouls, the Wizards finished with 20 and the Lakers totaled 18 fouls. They also converted 11 of 27 tries from beyond the arc. Los Angeles ended up shooting 72.7% at the free throw line by knocking down 16 of 22 tries. Additionally, Los Angeles pulled down 43 boards, 6 offensive, 37 defensive, and had 6 blocks. Los Angeles earned 29 dimes and had 4 steals in the matchup. In relation to defense, Washington allowed 50.0% from the floor on 46 out of 92 shooting. They also dished out 24 dimes in this contest, as well as forcing the other team into 9 turnovers and getting 5 steals. When discussing hauling and boards, they compiled 48 with 10 of them being offensive. From the free throw line, the Wizards converted 19 of 24 tries for a rate of 79.2%. Washington finished the game having earned a 46.3% FG percentage, 44 of 95, and buried 10 out of their 39 three-pointers. Phoenix will host the Lakers on Monday night, but before that, they defeated the New Orleans Pelicans 118-114 on Saturday night, which could be a playoff preview of a potential Western Conference final, as both teams are rolling. In the game, Phoenix was led by Devin Booker, who dropped an incredible 58 points, while Chris Paul had 18, Michael Bridges had 15, and Bismack Biyombo added 11. Washington has been the worst team in the league in the last 10 games, but I do think they can cover this spread as they have been keeping games relatively close. Along with that, Phoenix will be playing back-to-back and will have tired legs, and they have a couple of key players out of the lineups. Phoenix is 1-2 against the spread on no rest, and I do think the injuries and depleted lineup will start to impact them. This is also a bit of a look-ahead spot for Phoenix, who will look past Washington, but the Wizards will no doubt be wanting to snap their losing streak, and offensively, they have been having success. Phoenix could also rest some of their players who are day-to-day, so our first pick is to take Washington with the points here. The last time they took the hardwood, the Suns took home the win by a final score of 118-114 against the Pelicans. The Suns were able to corral 25 defensive rebounds and 10 offensive boards totaling 35 for the contest. They turned the ball over 8 times, while getting 6 steals for the contest. The Pelicans committed 27 fouls for the game, which took the Suns to the charity stripe for 35 shots. They were able to knock down 25 of the free throw attempts for a clip of 71.4%. With respect to shots from beyond the perimeter, Phoenix made 15 of 41 attempts, 36.6%. At the conclusion of this game, the Suns went 39 for 83 from the field, which gave them a shooting percentage of 47.0%. The Suns allowed the Pelicans to convert 45 of their 77 attempts from the floor, which gave them a percentage of 58.4% in this game. They finished 46.7% from distance by hitting 14 of 30 and finished the game at 10 out of 13 at the charity stripe, 76.9%. Regarding rebounding, Phoenix permitted New Orleans to collect 36 in total, 4 on the offensive side. Although when teams play back-to-back it tends to be a slower-paced game, I do like the over in this one. I expect Washington to push the pace in this one and force Phoenix to keep up, as they will be the fresher team and look to catch the Suns' defense on fast breaks. The Wizards are currently playing at a pace of 99.5, which ranks 23rd, while Phoenix is playing at a pace of 100.8, which ranks 15th. Yet, in Washington's last 10 games, the games are averaging 229.3 ppg, while Phoenix's last 10 are averaging 232.4 ppg. The Wizards won't be able to win a defensive game, so I expect them to push the pace and try and make this a high-scoring affair to cash the over. Our second pick is to take the over.